guys, welcome back to the Official Lost Video Podcast. We're here again with co-executive producer Gene Higgins.
Thank you.
Today we're going to continue our walkthrough with construction. But before we do that though, actually, I'd want to ask you, being a co-executive producer on Lost and being here day to day, what is the most difficult part of this job, of wrangling this large machine that you have here?
It's sort of twofold, because you have to divide it up between the creative and the logistical, if you will. On the creative side, it is constantly pushing the envelope, making sure that Lost stays Lost, that we are different, that we're new. And there's the logistics of just how do we keep a show, which I think we're the only show, other than reality shows, that does not have a standing set. So that when we shoot, out of the 10 days of shooting, we are really on the stage, which is everything you're going to see today, for about 1 day a show.
Well, I think that's a perfect transition. We're going to go over to construction and meet Mike Rowe, who's going to show us exactly how they do some of this.
So this is Mike Crow, our construction coordinator. Mike is in charge of building all the sets we use on Lost, adapting all of the locations we use. A lot of times we'll go into a location and the door opens the wrong way for the way we need it to be. So Mike will take the door and rehang it so it opens on the other side. This is the old Hawaii 5-0 stage. It's actually a tin building. As you can see, it's getting a little old. It's not really good for shooting in anymore, partly because the sound in here is not real good. So we use it to store all the sets.
Basically, this is what we call our scene dock. This is where 90% of all of our materials, our set walls, our components are all stored.
Mike, what was this?
That is part of the orchid. This was the opening for the time travel chamber where the rabbit was put in there. This is the doorway.
Here we go. Here's the board. Hello, have a ticket counter. Let's head over to the Ben's house. I'm going to take you in the back door. Actually, what we have is one Dharma house. This Dharma house is constantly reconfigured to be Ben's house, Jack's house, Juliet's house. Everybody who lives here lives in this house.
Evening, Doc.
It's modular. The theory being is that Dharma in the olden days essentially bought houses in a box. So they were all sort of cookie cutter houses, and there's very slight variations. It's difficult to find 1970s era furniture on the island. Actually, a lot of it comes from the Salvation Army. Walking out the front door, if you, the audience, are knocking on the front door and you want to see into the house, we finished just enough right here so that you can knock on the front door, I open it, and you see into the house. Now come back around and be me. And if I'm knocking on the front door, for a brief moment, we have what we call a translate. We went out to the location and we took an actual picture of the location. There'll be greens, what we call all the plants, okay, it's to break up the bottom. The light comes through it. But for the most part, we'll shoot this side, you shooting me, on location, and we'll shoot the other side here on the stage. It all looks like it happens at the same time, but sometimes it's 2 weeks apart.
Ain't that a relief? Yeah.
This is the security office at New Otherton. We've never established an exterior, actually, as of episode 511. We have not established an exterior. We always just catch them. We put a backing up here, which catch them coming downstairs. So as you can tell from the design, it's supposed to be underground. Come on in here. One of the joys of being able to work on the stage and with sets is that you can pull out walls. You can see from this part right here that what is missing is actually the wall of security monitors. Now, because we're never quite sure what's going to be called for in these security monitors, we do a blue screen version, and in post-production we composite in whatever it is they're looking at. So the first use of this was when we put Naveen, otherwise known as Saeed, in jail after they found him, and they thought that he was another.
All right, you can hang out here till we can figure out what the hell to do with you.
What are we gonna do with him?
Bring the man some damn food. We're not savages.
As you can see, it's real. Sometimes they're made out of wood. Okay, and it first started out, the first version, this room was smaller. Then the next script came in, there was more action in here, so we sort of imperceptibly expanded it, and then we expanded it a little bit more. So things have a tendency to grow and shift and change on this show without anyone really noticing.
Hey guys, that brings us to the end of our walking tour. Before we let you go, Gene, just one question for you. Running this large beast of a machine, when do you sleep?
About 4 hours a night. That's my New Year's resolution this year. More sleep. I was teasing you about it. There's a reason.
You look great. You look like
Thank
you've
you.
gotten plenty of sleep to me.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Bye-bye.